The New York Jets travel to Orchard Park to play the Buffalo Bills. I'm here with Darren Woodson. I'm Teddy Bruschi. We're picking games. Josh Allen looked good last week.
You look very good, and I'm picking the Buffalo Bills to win this game. And it's a little bit of backyard football going on because, Josh Allen's doing a great job of getting out, breaking the pocket, using his legs, making some throws when he needs to do that. And I don't think the Jets defense can play a full 4 quarters at Orchard Park against this Buffalo football team.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Buffalo Bills. I'm seeing exactly what you're talking about with Josh Allen and what he's doing, and a little bit more confidence. I know he's relying on those legs, but if that's all you got right now, and in the meantime, make a couple throws, go ahead and do that. We both are on the Buffalo Bills to beat the New York Jets. The Carolina Panthers, a struggling Carolina Panthers team, go to Cleveland and play a very confident Baker Mayfield. I'm Teddy Bruschi. This is Darren Woodson. Two guys picking games. Who you got in this one?
I'm going with the Browns. Look, we don't know. Carolina doesn't know who they are anymore. The coaching staff is in flux right now. That identity that they had early in the season is not there. They're not playing physical football games. And now they're going on the road to Cleveland against a Baker Mayfield-led team that's going to show up, and they're going to play hard. The one thing about the Browns are that we're going to play hard. They're going to finish the season, and Jarvis Landry is due for a big game.
I agree with what you're saying, but I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers. I think I may be stuck in the past a little bit, thinking that maybe that toughness is going to come back, that Cam Newton, even though he's got a sore shoulder, he pulls something out. He's going to make those amazing plays. Hopefully Christian McCaffrey can be there for him. But Ron Rivera, I just think of the head coach and maybe that he'll galvanize his team to get a win, because I still think it's within certain teams that you just can't lose to the Cleveland Browns. And I think Carolina has that. So, anyway, I'll take the Panthers.
The Browns are winning.
You take the Browns.
Because you said that.
We'll see what happens. All right, the New York Giants are going to travel to play the Washington Redskins. Looks like the quarterback is going to be Mark Sanchez for the Washington Redskins. Who are you taking here, Darren?
I'm going with the Giants. You saw what they did last week against a very good Chicago Bears team in New York, and they play extremely well on both offensively and defensively. And if you give Eli Manning time, which he will have against the Washington Redskins, some good things will happen because he has weapons. And then you look at the Redskins right now. They're decimated by injuries.
But even if you don't give Eli Manning time, he can check it down to Saquon Barkley.
Here we go.
My guy, Saquon Barkley, who is breaking records for the New York Giants, who just broke the rushing record that stood for 82 years.
Okay, we know.
So, yes, you know who I'm taking
I know
here.
You're taking. Go ahead.
The New York Giants will beat the Washington Redskins. He, of course, agrees with me because he loves Saquon Barkley, too. All right, the Atlanta Falcons are going to Lambeau Field to play the Green Bay Packers. Fresh off of fired head coach, Aaron Rodgers says there is accountability in that locker room. Is there going to be accountability in this game? Who wins?
They'll be accountable for themselves this game. I think they win in Green Bay, and I think they get the perfect matchup. They get an Atlanta football team, a Falcons football team that comes to Lambeau Field. It's going to be cold. Matty Ice will be freezing cold, and I don't think the ball's going to come out of his hands as well as it come out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. I think the Green Bay Packers step up this week, even through the loss of their head coach. They step up this week and they get a win.
I think Aaron Rodgers has a little bit of a pressure here to perform, because I think we all know about the sort of relationship difficulties that Aaron Rodgers had with Mike McCarthy. So all of a sudden, listen, you sort of get what you want now. A fresh start is coming. So let's show everybody now what you can do as a quarterback. So I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers fresh off a firing of a head coach. And I think we're both going to take them to beat this game, to beat the Falcons. One of the best defenses in the NFL of the Baltimore Ravens is traveling to Arrowhead to play the Kansas City Chiefs, high-powered offense. Who are you taking in this one, Darren?
Listen, to me, this is a toss-up game. And I know everybody talks about how great the Kansas City Chiefs are offensively or whatnot, but the Ravens bring a nasty defense and a nasty attitude to each and every game, and they try to get you out, first, second, third down, and try to get you out and try to be physical with you. I think in the end, Patrick Mahomes, his competitive nature will show up, and they find a way to win this game in the fourth quarter. I think it's tight all the way through, but the offense, with Patrick Mahomes, ends up winning out.
Yeah, this is intriguing to me because the Ravens, they're run heavy with Lamar Jackson, so they can take away that clock, keep Mahomes in that offense on the sideline if they convert on third down. Lamar Jackson wants to run the ball more than throw it. All he has to do is convert a couple third down throws. They need some turnovers on defense. So I'm saying a lot of things that they need to go right. I don't think all of that's going to go right. Eventually, Lamar's going to have to throw because they're going to be down, and that's where he's going to fail. Him and I, Darren and I both, we're going to take the Kansas City Chiefs in this one. Patriots are going down to South Beach to play the Miami Dolphins. Darren, I've been a part of these before. It's hard to win down there. That 50-degree defense, that change is sometimes real. So who are you taking in this one?
And we watched this game on Monday night last year, and the Dolphins ended up winning this game. Physical football game, and the Dolphins ended up winning this game. And I'm torn on this game. I mean, before we even started talking about this, I was telling you, I'm torn on this game. I'm going with the Pats. I think the Pats find a way in the fourth quarter to win this football game. I think it's a nosebleeder. They go back and forth with physical play, but I think the Pats, with that running game, with Sony Michel, they find a way to win it.
Yeah, Robert Quinn and Cameron Wake on the edges, though, of that Miami Dolphin defense. They're going to be a threat. They're going to be a problem. I'm still going to take the Patriots, though. I love the added dimension, which is Josh Gordon. And when you don't have Gronkowski, you don't have Edelman, and things are struggling with James White, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, they got this kid out there, Josh Gordon. You forgot about him. So extra dimension that puts him over the top. We're both on the New England Patriots to beat the Miami Dolphins. All right, the New Orleans Saints are back in business here. They're traveling to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers. Who you got in this one, Darren?
This is a revenge game because we know that loss early in the season came from the Tampa Bay Bucs, and I think the New Orleans Saints will be ready. They'll bounce back from that loss against the Dallas Cowboys. Kamara will have a big game. Ingram and that running game will get going again. And the screen game. The screen game will be a factor in this football game. I'm going with the New Orleans Saints.
These Saints players are itching to play again. They want to get back on the winning track, and Sean Payton's going to use that first loss, like you're saying, Darren, as motivation. I'm agreeing with you on this one. Maybe a high-scoring game, although that Saints defense can make some plays too. But I'm also taking the New Orleans Saints. We're going to take the Saints to beat the Buccaneers. All right, Andrew Luck in the Indianapolis Colts, after getting shut out last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, are traveling to the Texans to play another solid defense. Who you like in this one?
You know, this is a Week 4 matchup where it went into overtime, and the Texans ended up beating the Colts in Indianapolis. And I think this is what really was a springboard for this team to get back on that winning track. I think they find another win at home against this Colts team. I think the matchup is going the Texans' way. I think Lamar Miller is a guy who's going to run the ball consistently. And that defense, that Texans defense has really stepped up in the last 6 or 7 weeks. I'm going with the Texans.
Yeah, I mean, momentum can be a real thing this time of year. And I feel it with the Houston Texans. I feel Billy O'Brien, like they all, play call goes into the huddle and they're all running it. They have multiple options. And then when it breaks down, they know Deshaun's going to make a play for them. Offensively, they have confidence. Defensively, J.J. Watt may be the comeback player of the year. He's having a great year. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans also. So Darren and I both are taking the Houston Texans to beat the Indianapolis Colts. Cincinnati Bengals travel to Los Angeles to play the Chargers, and in a handful of teams right now are playing great football, Darren, and the Los Angeles Chargers are one of them.
They are definitely. And when you look at Cincinnati right now, they're banged up. You know, A.J. Green is going to be lost for this week again as well. And they just don't have enough weapons on the outside to make the big plays. And you're looking at a Chargers team that's building confidence week in and week out. And, of course, my guy, my safety,
your guy,
Derwin James, will have another big game. He'll probably have 1 or 2 picks to end this football game. I'm going with San Diego Chargers.
I like the Chargers.
Los Angeles Chargers.
Thank you. Nice little correction there.
Yes.
We'll get those later.
Yep.
But in terms of the Los Angeles Chargers, I like Derwin James also. How about that mental toughness, sort of confidence they got of going into Pittsburgh, not having Melvin Gordon, but still able to get that victory? This is a team that's for real right now. We both believe in the Chargers to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. Denver Broncos travel to the Bay Area to play the San Francisco 49ers. The Broncos, some bad news this week, losing Emmanuel Sanders. Who do you got in this game, Darren?
Not only lost, they lost Chris Harris as well, you know, last week's game. I mean, we're talking about 2 guys that mean a lot for this football team, but I'm going with the Broncos. You know, all 3 levels of this defense, they've been playing extremely well the last 4 weeks. And then on the opposite side of the ball, Philip Lindsay has just been unbelievable, running the football in between the tackles, catching the ball in the backfield. I like the Broncos in this football game.
Those long strides of Philip Lindsay, once he gets in the open, it's so nice to watch. I just think they still have what it takes to beat this San Francisco 49er team. they'll beat the Niners. Von Miller in that defense, that rush is going to be all over Nick Mullins in the backfield. So Darren and I both like the Broncos, a depleted Broncos team, to still win against the San Francisco 49ers. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to the Dallas Cowboys to play a match where linebacker Kamu Grier-Hill says, "We gonna choke them out. We gonna make them choke."
You added that.
Because that's what the Cowboys do. They choke, and we gonna make them choke. Who you think's gonna get this one?
You know what? I'm not going to argue what he's saying either, because there's some truth to what
In the past, yes.
But listen, I'm going with the Cowboys. I think when they turned the corner, when this Cowboys team turned its corners, when they gave the ball to Ezekiel Elliott, they will continue to feed him in this game. Not only in the running game, but also in the quick screen game, the dump off game. Zeke will get his touches, and he's always had big games against the Philadelphia Eagles team. I like the Cowboys, and I like the Cowboys defense as well.
I don't know about choking them out or anything like that, but the last time someone had some trash talk like this, it was DeMarcus Lawrence when he was talking about the Saints and stepping on their throats and something like that. And it did something to this Dallas defense, all right? And they came through big. I love watching Van Der Esch. I love watching Jalen Smith. We'll see what happens with Sean Lee, if he plays or not, but that's a great linebacking tandem. I think they're motivated by this. This Dallas Cowboy run defense is real. Yeah. The run game is real with Zeke. Amari Cooper on some play action.
Yes, sir.
Big plays. Yeah. We're both on them boys. All right, the Pittsburgh Steelers are traveling to play the Oakland Raiders. The Raiders put up a little bit of a fight last week against the Kansas City Chiefs, but still came up on the short end. Who you liking this one?
I like the Steelers to bounce back this week. They got embarrassed in the second half of that game against the Chargers. I think they bounce back this week. Ben Roethlisberger is going to have to lead the way without James Conner if he's not out there. So I'm looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers going to Oakland and putting up some big points this week.
Yeah, I'll also take the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like Juju Smith-Schuster, maybe him out of the slot. He's had a lot of success out of that slot position, and the Raiders have problems putting pressure on the quarterback. They're one of the worst in the game, so that equals Ben Roethlisberger having a lot of time, Juju in the slot. Darren and I, we're both going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers, beating the Oakland Raiders. All right, the Detroit Lions travel to Arizona to play the Cardinals. Darren, who you got in this one?
We've been talking about the Arizona Cardinals for a while and how hard they play. Even though they've lost games, they play extremely hard. And we just saw it last week in Lambeau, where Josh Rosen led this team to another win. And I think that speaks volumes to his confidence and how they're growing offensively. I'm going with the Cardinals to win this game at home against the Detroit Lions.
Well, I'm going to go the other way around. These are two tough teams to figure out. They've both been up and down. I mean, the Cardinals have shown effort. Have they been able to finish games? They finally got one last week. Kerryon Johnson, he shows out like he's a great running back, but then all of a sudden they're struggling offensively. And I can't figure out Matthew Stafford. So I flip a coin on this one. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions.
Oh, you are?
I think Matt Patricia, still, with everything that's going on, he'll find some way to pull out this victory on the road. So Cardinals. Lions. Huge game, maybe the game of the week. The Los Angeles Rams travel to Soldier Field to play the Chicago Bears. Offense versus defense.
Yeah.
Who you got?
You know what? We talk about the offense of the Rams and we talk about the defense of the Chicago Bears. I'm going to flip it. I'm going with the defense of the Rams to win this football game, and it's going to be about Aaron Donald getting pressure on the quarterback this week. I think the Rams defense steps up and gets a couple of turnovers and takes one to the house. The Rams win this game.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears on this one, and I'm going to go to the offensive side of the ball because I feel like the Los Angeles Rams, Aaron Donald's great, undisciplined. They allow the big play, and I think the creative play calling by Matt Nagy is going to be the difference here. They're going to get wide open chunk plays. Tariq Cohen's going to have a big game. I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears to win this one, and Khalil Mack and that defense will make a play in the fourth quarter to win. So
good game.
You got the Los Angeles Rams? Absolutely. I'll take the Chicago Bears. It's going to be a good one, people. And we'll finish off on Monday Night Football with Mike Zimmer taking his Minnesota Viking team that just lost in New England to Seattle, a hot team in Seattle. Pete Carroll's got them playing well. Who you got in this one, Darren?
It's the Minnesota Vikings have been like Jekyll and Hyde. You just don't know what you're going to get. And I don't see them going up to Seattle, who understands exactly who they are. They're going to run the ball down your throat. You better try to stop it. I like the Seattle Seahawks at home with this unknown, unnamed defense and guys that you can't even tell who they are as far as personnel-wise, but they find a way to win football games. And at home, they'll even be that much stronger.
I saw them play the Vikings against New England last week, and they did play well in terms of they did some good things. I just think that they'll bounce back. And I think this is sort of one of those games that it's a season-defining game that Zimmer's going to have this team ready to go. I think Thielen's going to have a bounce-back game because he didn't have a lot of production versus the Patriots because they respected that relationship with Cousins. I'm going to go with the Vikings. They go on the road, take it to the road, and they have one of their better games of the year. So you'll go with the Seahawks?
Seahawks.
I'll take the Vikings. It's going to be another good one to finish the week on Monday Night Football.